All right, let's get it started. All right. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, YouTube. We are live. Yep, come on in. How you doing, Gabriel? Hello. What's up, Malik? Hello. Come on in. Hello, Facebook. Lewis, thank you for joining in. Got a lot of great stories today. As you can see, today I will be solo. It'll just be me. Today, King has some other obligation he has to go to, but we'll definitely get it in today. A lot of good news. How you doing, Mike? Bitcoin Outlaw, the game I peep. What's going on? Come on in, Cashta. How you doing? Everybody on Facebook coming in. So let's get into it. Today is June 4th, and it is Monday. And today is and it is the General Crypto episode 180. I'm Bitcoin Zay, and today we will definitely, one man team today. We'll definitely still get it in. A lot of good news stories. Let's go ahead and kick it off with our winner for the free Satoshis, as we say before, not a free Bitcoin, free Satoshis. Sergeant Crypto. Once again, Sergeant Crypto, thank you for your comment for our question, which was based off of our new newsletter sale we have going on. We have a newsletter bundle going on, 7 newsletters for $10. A lot of great information in there. Issue number 8 actually comes out today for those of you who have joined the group. So his comment was about our cryptos to watch. As you know, we have different sections like cryptos to watch, business spotlight, featured tutorials, and also developers corner. I'm glad he actually shouted out the cryptos to watch. It basically was the Binance coin and KuCoin shares, 2 coins that we actually suggested that you actually should purchase for long term, because it's basically like buying a piece of the company. If you don't know, Binance is an exchange, KuCoin is an exchange, and they actually do the fees in their own native currency. And that currency usually gains value over time, simply as more users come to the platform, more people use it, and it becomes higher demand. So those are two coins there he shouted out. So thank you, Sergeant Crypto. I already sent you those free Satoshis. Yeah, gentleman with an A today. Yep. Over Christopher. What's going on, Kevin? Marcellus, come on in. So let's kick it off. I'm sure a lot of people are sort of excited or sort of anxious to see what happens with Microsoft. Microsoft actually just purchased GitHub. If you are not familiar with GitHub, GitHub is the #1 place right now where open source software is used. And open source software right now is the big thing, because we actually have an entire currency running off of open source software, which you all know about Bitcoin. And GitHub actually buys it. And as I'm going through it, let me know how you feel. We can actually discuss it. GitHub actually bought it for $7.5 billion. And it was last valued at $2 billion, and they actually purchased it for more, simply because I think they see the value in open source software. It took a little while, but of course, you know, the money people have their plan. So they bought it for $7.5 billion. GitHub started in 2008. They have 28 million users and over 85 million code archives, including, of course, a lot of the cryptocurrencies that are out now: Bitcoin, Ethereum, everything that you can think of. Any big project is usually listed on GitHub, and it can be forked. They have things called repositories. These are the archives that you can use. You can actually check them out to see what we're talking about. But if you're not big in tech, if you're not, a developer, you may not think this is a big deal. However, a lot of people in crypto, a lot of people in general think this is a big deal simply because Microsoft bought it. And Microsoft is definitely one of those companies. If you've been around any computer for the last 10, 20 years, you know Microsoft is definitely one of those people that reports everything to the government. And they have a lot of back-end software stuff that's pretty shady to me. I haven't used Microsoft in a while. Back when I was doing old IT work, Microsoft always gave us troubles, and we pretty much hate it. But good, John Seaver. I was just about to say, if you need an alternative, GitLabs is definitely on the rise. I believe they actually had a 10% bump in user registration in one day, simply because people were leaving GitHub and was like, no, this is not going to happen. If you keep making different software, open source software centralized, you have a central point of attack. And that's what's happening with Microsoft. I don't own any Microsoft products except for of course, PowerPoint and Word. But as far as computers, I don't own it. However, as a company, they do look like they're primed to take over the open source software market, because in my opinion, if you create software and it's private, you're pretty much kind of shady to most people. They're like, just make it open source. Everything is you can put it out there, and if we can use it, we can use it. Tesla, we're talking about Microsoft right now. Absolutely. And Microsoft in my opinion, not trying to say it's bad company. It's pretty good business to buy it, because if you have the ability to control the open source software, or to have people contribute to this open source software and just get paid off of it, hey, why not? From a business standpoint, but from crypto standpoint, I will personally be moving. If I would personally be moving if I had a lot of my stuff on GitHub to GitLabs. We're trying to make it as decentralized as possible, because if you make it, like we said, centralized, has a central point of attack. So we definitely want to shout out to Microsoft for spending $7.5 billion. But at the same time, business is business. So if people start moving, can't blame them. So that's Microsoft. Let's move on to our next story. Money 2020. For those of you who are involved in the financial sector, you know that Money 2020 conference is going on in Europe right now. It's actually going on till the 6th, June 6th. And this conference is basically where, to keep it real, a bunch of rich people get together and figure out how to make more money. That's pretty much all Money 2020 is. If you think consensus was a joke, imagine going to some of these and they sit and talk about e-commerce and apps, and we're sitting here like, yeah, we're already 10 years in the future. But supposedly the best of the best show up. They actually talk about different things, and crypto, of course, is one of the subjects. A former U.S. federal prosecutor actually said that a lot more crimes are committed with fiat than crypto. Wouldn't you know? Surprise, surprise. They actually, at this point, can't even come up with the data to support the claim that crypto is used only for illicit crimes. So they're basically backtracking a lot of people and saying that, yeah, actually, fiat is something that is more of a problem than crypto. And let's see exactly. Mary Beth Buchanan, she suggested that we need to get rid of the negative connotations surrounding the emerging crypto industry. She said, I served 21 years in the U.S. Justice Department, and it's not fair to say there's a greater amount of crime with cryptocurrencies. In fact, I would strongly disagree with that. Strongly disagree. Cryptocurrencies can be traced, unlike fiat currencies. That's why we always say usually cash is king, because cash you can always do anonymous. However, we have some cryptos that can do the same thing. So she did mention elliptic and chain analysis, which they're usually used to search the entire blockchain and see where transactions are going, what different addresses have the most money. So positive there. They actually, surprise, surprise. I know, right? It's one of those things where as crypto becomes more viable and people understand it more, they'll start to realize everybody isn't on Silk Road. Everybody isn't, everybody isn't selling, heroin over the internet for crypto. It's not this. No, this is actually an emerging industry with great technology, and people like you and me who actually, use it for our day-to-day stuff. I can tell you right now, people like this making this is good for us, because more people need to know about it. And it goes on to say, global illicit Bitcoin activity is estimated around 72 billion, which is just a drop in the bucket, really. And for the U.S., it's 100 billion alone, just the U.S. So we're talking about globally, maybe 72 billion, maybe used for illicit stuff. But for drugs in the U.S., one of our biggest industries, 100 billion just here. So it's not to mention other countries, Europe, China. I mean, we don't even have those statistics. So definitely a good statement there from the former U.S. federal prosecutor. Also from Money 2020, we have the actual MasterCard. It actually came out and said that they have a blockchain that can do everything that a human can do. So if you're at Money 2020, or if you are actually able to watch it, you should see how these people are basically turning about face from where they were before with crypto. And they basically say, yeah, it's actually pretty good. You should actually should get into blockchain technology, like we always say. We won't say Bitcoin, of course, because MasterCard's not going with it. But they said their blockchain can run their whole company. Their vice chair actually just stated that earlier today. And he says, so it's finding that thing that is going to solve for you, and it may be proof of authenticity, or it could be things like global trade. You got your paws on the technology, but your jury's still out about how instrumental it's going to be. That's one of the things that I've always said with these companies. They're going to double speak. They're not going to actually explicitly say it, but the fact that he's even mentioning that their blockchain is that powerful goes to show you that they're not going backwards, people. If you have relatives or people who keep downing Bitcoin and blockchain technology, they are not going backwards, trust me. So if you got MasterCard saying we are definitely moving towards the blockchain stuff, the blockchain technology is faster. For one, if you work for one of these companies, or if you work for a bank or something like that, you probably want to start looking for another career, or you want to somehow move towards the blockchain technology side, because they have technology already. They have artificial intelligence that does your job for you. They actually, I mean, I can't remember the last time I talked to a human. Some of these places, if you call them. So if you go into a bank, it's like a desert right now. Nobody goes into banks anymore. So if I was in a bank or if I was working in a credit card company, this blockchain technology is definitely one of those things I would warn against for job security, because once it comes through, it's not going backwards. They can actually process payments. They can authenticate who you are without the need of a human. So those two big things out of Money 2020. There'll be more tomorrow, more Wednesday. But these are two of the big stories coming out of Money 2020 in Amsterdam. So moving forward, and quick shout out to some of the people joining in. Torrance J Playlist, Crypto Ty, thanks for joining. People on Facebook, Crystal, Ish Bartley. Yep, the day GitHub died. I'm sorry, I know it's a sad day because GitHub was one of our main pillars. So definitely some sad today, I guess. But going forward, let's talk about your boy John McAfee announces that he's running for president in 2020. So if the presidential, he ran, the last election, didn't get much fanfare. Actually lost in the primaries to Gary Johnson. But he's actually going for it again. As you know, we talk about John McAfee, not because we technically like him or want to be like him, but just because his fearlessness is something to definitely to copy or attain to. So John McAfee actually says he's running for president in 2020. He says he'll run with the Libertarian Party. If not, he says he'll create his own party. And this goes back to what we were talking about with politicians. Those of you who commented, would you vote for a crypto politician? This is it right here. I mean, his last presidential run was more about security and how, network security, how things can be hacked, computers wise. But I'm telling you, in 2020, he will definitely have crypto on every TV station he can. Every debate, it will be somewhere in there. He's come out with his own currency, so to say, that we discussed. But he's actually running for president. So for a second time. So yeah, I agree with you, Torrance J Playlist. He'll actually get more votes this time. And we'll see what it's like to have a actual crypto person running for president. I mean, he's deep in it. He's done the coin of the day. We all know his backstory, but just the fact that he's fearless enough to say, hey, I'll run for president. Hey, I'll create my own currency. I don't care what you do. Definitely something to be noted. So let us know. Yeah, some of you all, I was gonna say, yeah, some of you all let us know if you would vote for McAfee. So far, it says that he's garnered over 600 comments after that tweet. Somebody already donated $390. Not much right now, but we will see over time how much he actually gets. It will be interesting to see how much money he raises from his own currency and then actually attributes it to his platform. So yeah, Lewis, anything is possible nowadays. I mean, we got former reality star in office. We got, people running that have questionable backgrounds all over the place. So it doesn't matter to me, honestly, from a political standpoint. I'm not that deep in it. However, you do want to pay attention because some of these decisions can change for the future. So yeah, and if you haven't catch the documentary Gringo, I've seen it twice. Just I couldn't believe some of it. Crazy guy, McAfee. Yeah, you're right. Definitely doesn't have a scared soul in his bone in his body, but we'll see how he does. Let's see, Adam Kokesh, not familiar with him, but I'll look him up in 2020. Yep, and a few people already said they'll vote for him. Yeah, I mean, going back to Arnold Schwarzenegger, you're right. Arnold Schwarzenegger is the mayor. Like, he was a governor. Like, come on, man, anybody can run. So moving forward, actually, let's see, get to some of these comments we got up here. Yeah, we got a lot of them flooding in. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Take that one away. All right. So moving forward, Australia. If you haven't heard already, we've talked about Malta. We've talked about in Puerto Rico. We talked about Cuba. We talked about different places who are becoming digital currency towns like Marshall Islands. But Australia is actually introducing their first digital currency town, and they accept Bitcoin to boost tourism. Definitely a good use case for Bitcoin. We've already said that because it's a global currency, you don't have to be in America. You don't have to be in Asia or wherever to use Bitcoin. You can use it anywhere. They seem to agree. The article states over 30 local businesses, including accommodation providers, tour operators, restaurants, and even a local pub. They're now accepting cryptocurrencies, even though they only have 2,000 residents. You got to start somewhere. They have a big billboard. I wish we had everything together today. We'll pull it up. But they have a big billboard, actually, if you look it up. They have Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, NIM, Litecoin, and Ethereum. They accepted all 5 of those for payment, which is crazy because small town in Australia, hey, you get enough people on it, you can build a whole community around it. So Gordon Christian, who began looking into accepting cryptocurrencies after a client explored how to go about processing Bitcoin payments from a customer, much like I've done with a lot of the clients I have. I inquire about it, and then they start thinking, if I accept it, what'll happen? So his interest peaked further when he saw that they began accepting cryptocurrencies at retail storefronts, start small and spread. And once they got up to 10 businesses, they basically said, all right, let's do it for everybody, and we'll see what happens. So they definitely have a need for tourism, and they've always said, anybody I've talked to that's traveled has said that the exchange for currencies is a pain. That has to be the biggest pain. You have to walk up with dollars, exchange it in their currency, and they take their cut. It's very inefficient, time consuming. Get out of here. But Agnes Water in Australia definitely taking a step forward. It's good to see small towns do this, simply because we've seen some of the bigger countries say it. We've also seen people with a lot of money, like Peter Thiel is starting the Marshall Islands. So if you take out the big money, take out the big countries, and community people are like, we're going to use this. We don't care what other people say, and it brings tourism. Good for them. So definitely a use case for Bitcoin overseas. So watch out for Australia. Maybe taking a trip there myself. Definitely a few places to go to see if they can basically process payments as fast as I think they should. But we'll see. Australia is definitely a good place to go. So a lot of sun, like out here in California. So moving forward, leading crypto exchange Coinbase, our favorite, to expand to the Japanese market. So if you haven't heard about Coinbase, you probably haven't been in crypto long, but Coinbase, of course, has done a lot of moves lately, which we think it'll IPO at some point simply because of the type of moves they're making. But it looks like they're actually getting a FISA, or Financial Services Agency, patent or license, so they can operate in Japan. Japan's Payment Services Act actually allows for them to do this once they get it going. It says here the U.S. company is said to be working with Mitsubishi UFJ Financial Group on its expansion in the Japanese market. So far, they've invested about $1 billion yen in Coinbase since 2004. So I'm pretty sure the money that they're getting to do this expansion has been a long time coming. And I don't see them going, globally backwards. So if they go to Japan, they're going somewhere else. They're going, wherever they can. Coinbase has 20 million customers, as you already know, 150 billion in digital assets. And I think Japan, their market is booming in crypto adoption. So if Coinbase can get any type of foothold there, we may be seeing the first global, so to say, crypto bank, because we've already discussed that there will be crypto banks, I think. And I think that Coinbase is probably in a good position to be the first one. And the Japanese diddly gang, yeah, you're right, Sergeant Crypto. Japanese diddly gang can jump on board. Definitely rich investors, VCs in Japan, they definitely are getting on board with Coinbase. I don't see why not. If you're one of those people, but if you think about how trades happen in the crypto market across different exchanges, you can already see what's going to happen. It'll be decentralized exchanges. There will be centralized exchanges, and then there'll be what I think crypto banks, where they'll start to fund exchanges or have insurance policies for retail investors as well as institutional investors. So if that's coming, you have to be global, because if I live in another country and I operate on this exchange and my money gets lost or something happens, you have to have these licenses in place, or they can basically brush you off and say, well, you shouldn't have been using it. You're in another country. So we definitely don't want that, especially because it's a global currency. It's one of the things that we strive for, is like, we want to go anywhere and use it. That's why we definitely I actually asked yesterday a guy to accept Bitcoin. He said not yet, but he has used a Bitcoin ATM. So like I said, baby steps. Got to keep asking and keeping it out there. So let's see. A few people who are trying to start a crypto bank. Yep, I know a few as well out here in California. I know there's some people trying to start a credit union the regular way with fiat currency, and then adopt cryptocurrency later. I actually work with somebody on that right now. So I mean, it's coming, people. It's not like it's not going to happen. It's just a matter of when and whether you'll be in place to do it. They'll need people like us who know about crypto, as well as customers who actually want to use it, so they have a business model to use. So Coinbase, let's see, they have projects like BABB, where each individual is a bank. Yep, that's exactly what Bitcoin does. Country-based currencies don't make sense anymore. Money markets have to go towards crypto. You are absolutely right, Gabriel, because if you are constrained to a country, what's going on, Chris? If you are constrained to a country with your money, that absolutely makes no sense in this economy, because you can get on a flight and get out the country cheaper and quicker than any time in history. You can leave and go at any point, any time. And once you get there, if you have to exchange money, it's kind of inefficient. But if you're a business person You have the credit cards. If you've tried to use bank cards out of the country or out of state, when I first moved, my card got denied 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, dude, I live here now, and you have to physically go up there and tell them that. That's so inefficient. It's no reason why that should happen. So you're right. Cryptocurrencies definitely they make sense going forward. We just have to clean up some of the stuff and get some of these scammers out of here. Right. John Siebert, free market interest rates after so many decades. Yep. Unfortunately, you're right. And we're based out of LA. It's me, Boss Lady, not in San Fran, but yeah, San Fran is definitely close enough to get there, but I'm not going 6 hours. But yeah, have fun out there. So that's all the news I have for you today. But before I get out, I want to definitely make sure I get out the our promotions that we have so far. Like we said before, we have our 50/50 promotion for anybody who wants to be a new subscriber to the KRBE Digital Assets Group. Like I've stated before, we do 2 newsletters a month. We do 2 tutorials a week, 1 live conference, and also the ability to ask at least 1 question a day, every 24 hours, Q&A session, free Bitcoin starter guide, as well as merchandise discount. And for the 50/50 promotion, whoever gets the most referrals, everything is 50% off. The most referrals actually wins a free treasure. Still in the box, still packaged up. I haven't opened it and figured out the private key, and will take it from me. Free treasure for whoever gets the most referrals. Our second promotion is the 7 newsletters for $10. Like I stated before, $10 for a wealth of information. Like we said, very cheap because we want to make sure everybody can get this information. And we do technical analysis, fundamental analysis on 4 different coins every issue. We have Developers Corner, Business Spotlight, as well as a feature tutorial. Some of them, like if you know Chase that coin, we have him featured in a few of them. Rima, or aka Bitcoin Bay, who's on here a lot. She actually organized a lot of DC blockchain stuff. She's actually a contributor as well. We have a lot of people who Bitcoin Vegan, he contributes with the crypto calendar, who contribute to the newsletter. So great information in there. I want to make sure everybody gets it. Before we get off, I want to make sure you can catch us on Spotify, iTunes with the podcast. And for those of you on Facebook, you can also comment on YouTube for the free Bitcoin. So our question of the day at the Money 2020 conference, do you think there will be any more FUD? Do you think they will continue giving good light on crypto? If so, let us know. Send your public address and we'll send you that free Bitcoin. So I'm going to get out of here today. A lot of work to do. Let's see if anyone's in San Fran Tulip Conference. All right. Be both of us, and you all have a great day. Cheers.